So good morning, everybody, and welcome to StayOn Impact Webinar. All of the people online today know me pretty well. However, for those who might want to watch this later on YouTube, my name is Giulia Parola. I will be moderating this session today, and I'm here to welcome you on behalf of the European Center for Social Finance. So the goal of the next hour is twofold. First, we can see the agenda. We will hear from Professor Dr. Barbara Scheck, my colleague, about how measuring impact and impact management can add value to organizations and projects in general. Secondly, we want to make this a little bit more concrete, and to do so, we will present StayOn Impact Framework. And especially and more importantly, we will talk and discuss 4 impact case studies that will be presented by 4 colleagues of mine. So they are the representative of 4 organizations within the StayOn consortium. Now, after each case study, there will be a very brief opportunity for Q&A. So in case there's anything fresh on your mind, feel free to speak up before we move to the next topic. So thanks again, all of you, for joining us today. And Barbara, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome also from my side. I'm happy that I can give a short input on the importance of impact assessment and why it would make sense to think about it in any kind of social or environmental project. So in general, impact assessment is not the #1 priority for most social organizations because it's burdensome. Maybe there's not the knowledge on how to do so, and it's much more exciting to work directly with the target group and the beneficiary. But unfortunately, the road to hell is paved with good intentions and broken toilets. And there are many, many interventions that have not yielded the impact that they wanted to. And so impact measurement and management is very, very important to prove and to improve what you're doing. So the proving is about the demonstrating the change that is actually taking place, that the organization, the project is living up to its mission, that it achieves the expected standards. And the improving refers to this continuous process of learning and growth to support the social mission. So continuously getting it better and achieving or having more impact than before with the given resources. So proving and improving are kind of in what the research tells us are the overarching objectives of impact measurement in general. From the perspective of a social project, I would say this is what gets you out of bed in the mornings, right? You want to know that what you're doing really has an impact. So you should be interested in understanding what works, how it works, and how much you have achieved compared to the objectives that you have set for yourself. And that will make you better. This will motivate your volunteers. It will make transparent where all these efforts have gone into. But also for funders, it has become more and more important that they can document what their funding is achieving in terms of impact. So they are looking for organizations that can prove what they're doing. They are looking for organizations that understand that it's important to get better at what they do and allocate their funds accordingly. So not only for yourself and for your teams and for the people you're doing that for, but also if you want to fundraise, be maybe more efficient or more successful in raising funds going forward. It has become more and more important for funders in the last couple of years. And in very general, if you decide to set out on that path of impact assessment, it's important to keep in mind that this is a process. So it's not about having just this 1 or 2 indicators and then collecting some data and having a nice report. It's really a process. It's a real life cycle about from the planning of what you're trying to do to implementing it, analyzing the data that you collect, report that to your stakeholders, and then adjust accordingly. So it's a really holistic process, and the team will walk you through kind of what they have done for their project, from setting out the objectives to then actually analyzing the data. And it has become increasingly important for social organizations to be able to articulate what they're doing. And that doesn't mean that if you have good intentions and you know of a good feeling about what you do, that this is not enough. But if you're able to articulate it, I'm sure you'll have better results going forward, and it'll be easier to attract resources and support from other stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Thanks a lot. So now, to make what Barbara said a little bit more concrete, I invite you all, also the people maybe watching later, I invite you to check out our Impact Compass. Anya, maybe you can change the slide. So StayOn Impact Compass is an impact management and reporting tool that we have developed as part of the StayOn project. However, it has a lot of free resources that could be also maybe useful for other organizations that want to increase transparency about their activities. So there are templates, guidelines, and maybe reports that you can be inspired from. Now, at the core of StayOn Impact framework, we have StayOn Theory of Change, again in the next slide. So this is something we have developed as a consortium, so collectively at the very beginning of the project, but that we have hopefully kept in mind as we progressed in the past almost 2.5 years. You can see at the bottom, there is a clear statement about the problem that our project attempted to address. This is always very important because everybody has to be on the same page when it comes to having assumptions about the problem. As you move up, you will see all the mini steps needed to reach the long-term objectives that we have established at the beginning of the project. So today we will specifically talk about the upper part of the theory of change. So as a reference, the orange part. And we will present StayOn outcomes through the first 3 impact case studies. Basically, the outcomes are the effects that the project had on the target groups. And we will have a case study on how StayOn participants experience social inclusion. The second case study will be about the adoption of community-based development in the rural areas where we operated. And then a third case study on the increased transnational cooperation on labor market issues among the project partners within the project. And then finally, our fourth and last case study will showcase StayOn Impact, basically the effects that the project had on society at large, and namely the social benefits to the rural areas we've chosen to work with in Europe. So I think I stole enough time, so I will leave the floor to Anna, who will present the first impact case study.
Good morning. My name is Anna. I'm from CRES Azores, that is a solidarity economy represented in the Azores archipelago. And I bring you an experience that we had with our participants that we call Community Week. And it's an opportunity that we had to join different participants from different backgrounds to create a different way of thinking. So inspired by the design thinking methodology, the participants had the opportunity to identify, reflect on, and also build answers to the problems that they identify in their communities. We decided to do this week because we want that the participants, specifically the youth, understand the potential that they have and how their skills can be used to participate more actively in their society. So we invite 40 participants with age between 20 and 29 from 2 different islands in the Azores, that is São Miguel and Terceira. And during 1 week, they are invited to think and to identify problems and at the same time create solutions for the problems that they identify in their community. So they came from different backgrounds and social contexts in a week of creation, where the link between them was to improve the community in which they live. In the end of this week, we feel that we learn a lot also as an organization, and specifically we learn that the representation is fundamental in the success of any project or initiative. We only can change, and the change only happens when people feel respected and listened to. And that's why we invite also different stakeholders from the local community, stakeholders from the local companies that was created by young entrepreneurs that representing the sectors that are fundamental for the region's development. And we are talking about agriculture, fishing, and service. And we also invite the local authorities and regionals. So during this week, we had the regional director for employment, the regional director for youth, and also the president from a parish council in a place where we develop the walking week. But more than words, it's a name of a song from a Portuguese singer. I will invite you to watch a video that represents the importance of this walking week. A week that we create a slogan, between thinking and doing, there is a long way to go. And I invite you to watch what we believe that had a huge impact in our participants. So I hope you enjoy our video.
O projeto StayOn foi um projeto muito interessante ao longo dessa semana. Aprendemos com o que podemos fazer muito. Esta semana foi incrível em termos de experiência. Cheguei aqui enquanto mentor, mas a verdade é que acabei por aprender um bocadinho com todos estes jovens. Todos eles acabaram por ter aqui um papel de mentores também para mim.
E eu quero deixar uma mensagem que é: entre o pensar e o fazer há um caminho perfeito.
Thank you, Anna. Very, very inspiring video. I guess we all agree. I would like to kick off with one question because the video is so inspiring. But how did you get the inspiration yourself or your organization? Where does the concept of community work even come from? Because personally, I never heard about it before.
We always try to develop activities that bring impact in the persons that we working on. So we decide always to bring the possibility for their express themselves and being unique. So we are talking about human being, and for us it's important to develop their skills, but also to give them the floor to express and to share what they know, and being part of a society that most of the time they are completely out of it. So it's a great opportunity for them. These participants came from difficult backgrounds and village, so they had the possibility to to join a different group, to learn, and to be special for a week.
Thank you. Does anybody have a question for Anna about the community walk or about anything else she talked about? If Anya? No? Okay, then I'm happy to move on to the next case study, which will be presented by Natalia. And just to bring everything back, this time we are moving to the adoption of community-based development by the communities where the Polish Farm Advisory and Training Center worked in. So please, Natalia, tell us about it.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much. Thank you for the floor. My name is Natalia Truszkowska. I represent here the Polish Farm Advisory and Training Center, which is the implementing partner in the StayOn project. And I would like to mention that as a community catalyst partner in the StayOn project, we provided individual coaching support as well as group training for young people in our region in the area of soft skills development, basic IT skills, English language, as well as familiarization with the local community. We found that topic especially important for our target group because we recognize that not many young people are actually aware of the opportunities that exist for them in our region. Thank you. For the next slide. Today, I would like to talk about the community-based development in our region, and this is Podlaskie region. And during the implementation of the project, we cooperated with many different stakeholders, but we decided to group them in 3 main groups. We divided them like that. We cooperated with career offices at the local universities, and this is especially the International Academy of Applied Sciences in Łomża. We also cooperated with other public benefit institutions, other NGOs in our region, foundations that also support entrepreneurship in our region, foundations that support revitalization of our region. And especially important, and I'm very grateful for cooperation, is of Social Integration Center in Łomża that also connected us with the employment office in our region and helped us in the recruitment phase of the project. And the third group of the organizations, stakeholders that we cooperated with were the private companies, private organizations that were very eager and keen to offer the opportunities, internship opportunities for the young people who attended to our trainings, who, let's say, successfully finished all the phases of the project duration. And the very good example could be the Intertech company, which is the agri-machinery factory in our region that was very keen to provide internship opportunities for young people. So I would like to thank to them, to these organizations again. I hope they will be listening to us. Next point that I really would like to underline here in my presentation is perhaps the communication. I just would like to mention that the constant communication, the honest communication, the empathy with our stakeholders, as well as with the needs that attended our trainings, I think was crucial. And we can say that was one of the most important skills that we were able, all of us, to master in the duration of this project implementation. Because we had very good project ambassadors, and I would like to thank to Kasia and Kasper, who supported us in the recruitment, bringing the new, let's say, needs for the next phases of the projects. Our young people were always very invited, very eager to get in touch with our ambassadors, and they were always available, so we thank to them. We are very grateful that we had happy needs who also disseminated the good word about our project, about our trainings to other young people who were just starting, who were looking for some opportunities for them to get inspired, get involved. So it was very important to have this constant communication, the word of mouth, because of course our communication, we left many flyers in different offices in our region, also in the public authorities, in the office here, in the Marshal office in our region. But I think the word of mouth is most powerful, really, because when we have good promotion of our course from the person who has completed it successfully, I think this is very encouraging for the next persons. And then I think also it was important that we are very committed. My organization, Polish Pharma Advisory, we are very committed to help, to assist in our local community, because we are not for-profit organization, and we are eager to empower rural youth that we have in our region. We want to support their entrepreneurship skills, and that's why they also they knew about us. We cooperated with many different projects, with many different stakeholders. So I think we were quite a good point for the needs to find us. Also because we are the Eurodesk point in our region, one of the only 2 Eurodesk points in the Podlaskie region. One is in Białystok, who can say the capital of our region, and the other Eurodesk point is based in our office. So I suppose that helped also a lot in the recruitment phase of the needs for our project. So thank you. Now perhaps I can mention in the next slide, and I can talk about the results of these collaborations. Thank you. So here, just very briefly, I would like to mention that I think one of the most important results of these collaborations with the local stakeholders were the satisfaction of our needs. Really, we have very good success stories. We know that some people got employed after they completed all the phases of the project. One person got employed at the careers office. Other people were offered internships also in our office, but also in the private companies. Also some job shadowing opportunities they had for a few days. So they were very eager to participate. And I can say even more, that now when during our training phases, we introduced to the people the local organizations, the many other, let's say, directors from the integration center in our region. The lady came to attend the training session to present case study. Many young people now are invited to go and really stay in touch, to collaborate also on voluntary basis in other projects. Because after the very intensive training on StayOn that we had, especially in the last phases of the project, when we met for 2 weeks in a row, day to day, on daily basis with the young people, with the 15 persons, now it would be such a pity just to finish, to end the story. So we are in the stage now that we are really providing the opportunity. We're looking for other possibilities for these young people who are already very much motivated, very much engaged, not to just step back, but to carry on their good work and to stay active in our local community, to be able to inspire and enrich the local community. So thank you for that. At the end, I just would like to mention to you that we kindly invite you to check the Impact Watch project page for additional info, for statistics on our work. And in case you have any questions, I will be very happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia. Great. Does anybody want to jump in? Boris.
Yes, my name is Boris, and I'm representing Meet Partnership today here. I'm a head of coaches and a Meet Partnership related to StayOn project. When we were in Poland, I have seen that you have very good cooperation with your stakeholders. They are so active and motivated. So I would like to ask you, what is like some unique formula or recipe? How do you keep them so motivated and active all this time?
Thank you. I think first of all, I would like to just maybe underline that I believe it's very kind of natural for our stakeholders, the organizations that we cooperate with, to be really eager to be involved in this project, because our project is very close to their mission as well. We were able to gather, to engage the organizations that are interested in the results of our project, because these results, they reflect also their mission. We wanted to empower our local community, to aid to these young people to be able to stay in our region, not to move out. And these aims, they very much reflect to the aims, missions, goals of the other organizations that we managed to secure to be able to help us, to assist us. And I think what's also very important, since we know that the stakeholders, they cooperated with us, but on a voluntary basis. We always mention them. We always try to give them visibility and really gratitude for their work. And even more, the people who come to our office, we also recommend and direct them to the organizations for additional, information on other topics, other projects. So this is, I suppose, somehow win-win experience and situation. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Boris, for the question. Anybody else wants to ask something to Natalia? If not, I do have a question. So my next question would have been like, what do the stakeholders have to gain? But you kind of already answered, because you talked about visibility. Also the fact that they have some of your similar objectives. So of course, this contributes to achieving their missions too. Then I changed my question, because I would like instead to know, were you already so well connected on your territory before StayOn, or it is something that you have done as a part of StayOn?
Yes, thank you, Giulia. This is a very good question, because maybe I start from maybe I will just complete my previous answer a bit. I just would like to underline that I know that our project is targeting people from 20 to 29 years old, yes? And this is, that was our target group. But I just would like to underline that we had many other interested participants who were, let's say, above this age limit, and we always provided trainings to them. So I'm really happy to say that we never refused any support for people who were not in the target group. So this was our, let's say, additional support to the project that we provided. We wanted to do that. And also that's why these organizations were willing to cooperate with us, because even if
Am I the only one who cannot hear Natalia anymore?
Okay. Yeah, it's freezing.
Okay. Camila, do you want to jump in?
Yes, I just would like to maybe finish like the Natalia answer. So yes, she was right that we had a lot of people that were, under the age of needs, and that's why those organizations were also very happy to be involved. But also what is important, we all have to remember that a lot of organization, corporate social responsibility is very important. And so also by, be involved in this project, they could, feel the mission, the corporate social responsibility, and then, write it in their reports. So that was also like very important. And
I'm back again.
yeah. Oh, Natalia is here.
Thank you, Camila, for taking over. I apologize, but as you see, I'm really in rural area. So sometimes we do have these internet connection problems. I do apologize. Thank you, Camila, for jumping in. And also, I just would like to perhaps answer to the, let's say, second question of Giulia, just to tell you that, in fact, yes, we had very good cooperation with many stakeholders in our region, because we are, well, we are quite strong. We can say we are a young organization, but we, we are active since like 7 years now, so we have connections. But I must say that really, honestly, with the StayOn project, we managed to engage many more organizations, because it was such a wonderful project. It is. The mission of this project is, it corresponds to our mission, to develop our region, to revitalize rural areas, and that many more organizations that act here in our region that we haven't before cooperated with, were very interested to get involved. So I'm also very thankful for the opportunity to be part of this project, because also it expanded our horizons. Yes, we have other organizations here that sometimes naturally would be not our, let's say, partners, like for example, Foundation of Culture and Dialogue, because we are farm advisory, so we wouldn't normally have trade connection with Foundation of Culture and Dialogue. But the director of the foundation was very interested in the results of the project and also helped us in the recruitment phase. So thanks to this project, we even, I suppose, extended our cooperation in our region, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia. Thanks also for the thorough explanation. I then move to the next case study presented by Anya. So now we are moving to another target group, which are the project partners. This is also a target group of the project. As we've seen also through Natalia, our organizations can improve by being part of such a project. So Anya, I'll let you explain this better.
Thank you very much, Giulia, for the introduction and for actually all the partners for trusting us with this important job, important activity, which is how to actually combine our capabilities better so that we can do better work and achieve better results together. So what I decided to show you today in this Impact webinar is actually the way we approached our consortium building from the perspective of achieving the goal of increased transnational cooperation. And this is actually the term that we came up to at the almost very end of the project. Actually, what our job is to manage our cultures. Now, in an international project like StayOn, where 8 partners participate from 5 different countries, culture is a very important matter. So to align us in terms of setting our culture together and living as a temporary culture for 2.5 years, because we were a stay-on culture, we might say at this point, there were 3 important steps in getting here. So the first one was to identify what actually our culture is. And in so our aim and ambition was to see what are the common denominators, what are the common features of a culture that connect us between these 8 organizations and 5 countries. When we talk about including your stakeholders in this phase, what we say is we cannot just write the vision mission in our application form and hope that it will work, but we need to start talking about it, and we need to discuss it, and we need to feel it, and we need to see each other when we do it. So the second point, once we have an idea of what connects us, for us, a very important next step is that you codify it, meaning that we take the effort to write down what is it that connects us, but then also to always have in mind how to integrate this ambition, this common demands, this common essence of a culture into the way we do projects, into the way we do our activities, into the way we organize our meetings, into the way we communicate when deadlines are approaching. So it's actually to identify what are the needs of all together, and then try to live this in the systems and processes. And the third part, what was also very important for us in this project, was that we build the soft skills to live our cultures, which is a very important set of skills that we have to have, and then also to develop our culture management skills. This is a second set of skills that we also addressed in this project. But then again, as the time progresses, and we as people and contexts around our projects changes, to keep the circle open. Maybe after 2.5 years, when we have met each other, lived in a temporary project culture, it is time again for another set of evaluation. What is it that actually connects us? So how we went about this in the StayOn project is, in the first phase, if we talk about culture identification, we went through 3 important phases. The first was just the primarily introductory identification that we had in Patras in October 2021. As we think back on that period, it was a period of masks, COVID. We met for the first time. We were afraid. We didn't know what we were doing together. We met for the first time, and we started to talk about mission, vision, and the rules under which we want to play this project. So this was a very important step. In the second phase, when we met in Kells in October 2022 in Ireland, there was this second phase where we wanted to upgrade it. We added values to the mission and vision, And then we had like a second iteration. We went to it. Do we actually hear the sound of our mission and vision? We were not happy with it with Kel's, and we did an upgrade there. And then the last one, when we met in Lomża and in Warsaw in this September, we made a final upgrade and evaluation. So this was the second iteration of values. We now have our strong values and the values reflection. So what are basically culture code? If we say how we codified our culture, there were 4 main pillars. It was the mission, vision, values, and the StayOn playbook. All of them are always in the process of reevaluation, but they are something that we as partners agree that connects us in achieving the results of the project. And how we went about it, like how we actually build the skills and how we build our culture was through 4 main things. It was through brainstormings, tactical groups, social activities, and body systems. They all have different functions. Some are more into building our capabilities and skills as partners. Others have a better function in terms of building our social ties and social connections. So the body system builds social connections between us. The brainstormings are primarily meant to build our skills, but all with the intention to achieve the final results that Luigi is going to talk about in a minute. So I'm going to stop here and just hope that we really at the end have a strong StayOn culture, which is one of the key factors, I believe, also that supports our amazing results and targets that we managed to achieve in these 2.5 years.
Thank you, Anya. I will see if somebody wants to ask anything.
Yes, if I may, I do, yeah. So this is Natasha Blahu, and I'm representing Resus Brands. So Anya, given your established expertise in recognizing and developing the inner potential in a variety of applied formations like companies, organizations, teams, and individuals, regarding StayOn, would you say that we achieved the best possible outcome in terms of collaboration? And if so, what key aspects of collaboration are enhanced and therefore make a cultural partner an asset in a transnational cooperation? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Natasha, for this question. It's a very difficult one in a way. It's a very specific one, but also a very important one when we talk about the future of culture managers in projects and culture managers in organizations. Now, according to our experience also in BB Consulting, where we deal a lot of, where our main entry point is usually culture and like how do we build better relationships, rituals, and connections. I do believe that when we are reflecting and also looking at the results, that we have achieved a very high level of collaboration in the project partnerships. I would say we are above the regular, and I think that our impact assessment is going to confirm that we are above the average of collaboration levels in similar projects. So this is something that we think is a way to go. We are always a bit self-critical, like there's always room for improvement, but I think that the achieved targets, the results, like the achieved targets are the first indicator that we were successful in the collaboration. So if we didn't achieve the targets, all our collaboration could be very nice, but if the targets would not be achieved, then that would mean nothing. I think that the second very important sign of how we were successful in combining the cultures is the partnerships that happened after the StayOn. So it's the partners that connected during the StayOn, realized that they share a culture, like that they share a cultural code, let's say, and decided to participate even in other projects. And the second thing I think is that also the third indicator would be that the partnership, despite all the turbulences and very extremely ambitious targets, survived as a whole. So I think that would be the third reason to celebrate what we have done together. And the last thing why I think it is very important that culture managers stay part of the project is that when we made the evaluation of all of the activities I presented in our presentation, we had very high results on all of the aspects in terms of, are these things useful? Are these things inspiring? And are they creating connection between partners? So when we talk about vision, mission, values, and all the activities that we had, we evaluated them on these three aspects, and they got very high grades. So hopefully, like, they didn't get the highest grades, so this is the room for improvement, but I think that every project can benefit from a culture manager partner.
Thank you, Anya. Any other question? If not, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. Although I'm a very big fan of culture managers, and Anya knows this, I have the feeling that the concept culture in projects, and probably it's because organizations are like stable entities. So even if they invest time and money in building a culture, it is for the long term. I cannot say the same for a project, because a project, like, for how long it can be, I mean, at some point it will end. So my question is, like, I'm convinced about the efficacy of having like a culture framework for a project. I don't know about the efficiency. So, like, is it always worth, even though a project is very short, or anyways it's temporary, because it is a project indeed?
I would, like, we had this discussion, and I really enjoyed this discussion, because it's nice to always stay critical of the work you're doing. And where I find sense and meaning in culture managers in every type of project, even if it's temporary, is that while projects themselves are temporary, the people in the projects are not, and the connections they establish during the projects are not. So in terms of when we talk about the mission of the fund, which is unlocking youth potential, which is increasing opportunities for young people, is that each of us is going to, in some way or another, be still active in this field and benefiting from the relationships you have gained in this StayOn project, and benefiting also from the skills, soft skills that you have developed in this project. It will make you a better partner in the projects to come. This is our bet. So that's why we think not to think in terms of it as a project, but in terms of, like, also the culture building of project communities, which are not as temporary as projects themselves. So it's like moving to a more sustainable view also of projects. That will be my suggestion. Let's invest in projects, not just because of the projects themselves, but because of the communities they create around them.
I wanted to put you in a difficult place, but you managed to provide a very good answer. Thank you. I move to the next case study, which we said we are now on a different level, the impact level. So one thing that we try to assess and, of course, measure also with hard data was the impact of the project on society at large, and especially the rural communities where we have worked. So I will leave now the floor to Luigi to talk more about this aspect.
Thanks, Giulia. Hello to everyone. I'm Luigi, I'm from Italy, and I'm representing ADIS. Today, I'm here to talk about your effort to enhance rural areas in Sicily through target implementation course that we organize 3 courses aimed at promoting the development of these rural areas. Anja, can you change? Thank you. So the first course was addressed to specific local context, leveraging the unique features of each place. For example, in Leonforte, we organized some course on Leonforte PGI, Protected Geographical Indication pitch, focusing on these processing and transformation techniques. We offered the participants the opportunity to learn and preserve ancient processing techniques and through alive the cultural roots. The second course is pottery and creation artworks. And this course have a great tradition in Sicily. For example, is famous the ceramic of Caltagirone. During this course, participants had the chance to learn ceramic processing techniques and expressing their creativities and make some unique piece. This course not only helped preserving Sicilian ceramic tradition, but also provide to participants with a new economic perspective. In fact, in this course, we encouraging them to develop their artistic skills and create marketable products. The third course is dressmaking and entrepreneurship, and is a particularly for me significant course because was attended by migrant girls. And we're providing them with a chance to learn the art of tailoring and to establish connection with their cultural heritage. In fact, the product that they need is on traditional techniques of their country. And we encourage these young women to develop their skills and their creation skills and with unique products. We have reached some objectives, and Anja, can you, okay, thank you so much. And we have reached 5 objectives. And with this course, we create job opportunities for residents in rural areas, and some course focused on a specific topic in collaboration with local business, preparing participants for employment. We have strengthened the sense of community by transmission of traditional techniques and knowledge of local products, and all of this issue is to facilitate the reintegration of needs in workplace or their first entry level. This transition was facilitated by conducting part of the lesson directly on companies, and this providing participants with a valuable hands-on experience. Our aim was not only to reintegrate needs in the workforce, but also to support rural context. I need the new slide. Thank you. In addition to the lesson, we organize some meet between course participants and local residents to foster interaction and create connection between needs and the community. But also we create some interaction and collaboration with the other course. For example, the course of Catania that we have a digital marketing course working with the guys of rural heritage to create a new product, a new natural herb tea in a biodegradable cups. That is amazing products born with this collaboration. And with this 3 course, the focus and we aim to enhance rural areas in Sicily, and we preserving, I think, local traditional and creating new employment opportunities. That's all for me.
Thank you, Luigi. I have the feeling every time I hear Luigi talk, there's something new and it's amazing, and I never heard about it before. So thanks a lot. It was really interesting, and congratulations on all the work you guys have been doing. Does anybody have questions for Luigi? I'm looking. Boris.
Yeah, I would like to, as a coach, Luigi, what could you say, like, what could be like the main impact from the side of the coaches on your like local community?
Thank Boris to the questions. I think the coach have the possibility and have the contribution in some way to creating connection with participants, because as coach I engage, I talk to all participants, so I know the each individual skills and the desire of each coaches. And for example, I think to creation of the photography association is an example of this. I know that is that the community have interest, have volunteer to create some photography association. So I am the coach of Atis is a facilitator to community and course in this case, I think.
Thank you, Luigi.
Anya?
I'm so, as Giulia, I'm always so amazed by what is happening in Sicily, and can't wait to go to Palermo and to also, I know it's not in Palermo, but still. So my question is, and I'm very fascinated by it, is why is culture such an important element in your work? And why do you think it is important in terms of giving young people fresh opportunities?
I think that each country, each small village in Sicily have a particular story, particular products, particular opportunity job. But I think that in Sicily we must change the mentality of people and young guys, that in Sicily we can make opportunity, but not also not interesting job, but also interesting job that, for example, the guys in Catania that have course of digital marketing connect with rural heritage and create some products. So the new way of work with the whole heritage of Sicily, I think this is very important. Preservation, the culture of each country, but also innovating them.
Thank you so much. I really love your mission.
I see another question from Natalia. Can you please?
Yes, thank you. It's just one little remark. I just would like to congratulate Luigi for the great, I think, courses selection, because when I was wondering how come you have chosen these courses, I suppose you made some kind of service and your target group have responded. I don't know, because it was quite difficult for us when we were starting the project to select, you know. It was because we have so many ideas, and then we only had to choose 2 or 3. And I really congratulate you to those that you chose, because I think they really strengthen the sense of community also in the local, in your region, also in terms of this rural revitalization. So thank you.
Thank you. For the idea of course, the first year was not easy, because I have some idea that's not working. So I'm talk about local enterprise, local PCI, local partners, to talk about, okay, in your city, what do you think is important? What do you like? What course is important for this economy, for our economy? So with this target group, we created and selected the course. But it isn't, the first year is not easy, because, okay, for me is important English, is important digital marketing, is important these skills. But in rural areas is not important. So with confront, with talk with partners, we reached I think very good course for each areas.
Thank you for the answer.
Thank you, Luigi. Any other question for him or for anybody else? If not, then I will wrap things up. To be honest, I'm really happy we chose these case studies because now that I think of it, they look like the different pieces of a puzzle and it looks nice together. We talked about like individuals with the presentations of Anna and Luigi, but also the organizational level and organizational improvement with Natalia and the development of a very solid stakeholder base. And then at the European level, Anya, with culture managers, possibly for every European projects now, from now on. In any case, I do hope that if anybody will watch this video, even if the first time they learn about impact management, they will see the value of it. And also for all of us who were here today, I'm sure all of us, we all learned something new, not just from Luigi. Like it's good to see. It's good sometimes to see what your colleagues are doing, especially in this international team. So thanks again to all of you for being here, for asking questions, for presenting your work. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Giulia.
Thank you.
To everyone. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.